I'm Sandy Scheller with the Chula Vista Heritage Museum with the South Bay Historical Society. It's the 4th of July weekend, and in Chula Vista we have lots of wonderful fruit. This happens to be one of them. So here's some banana bread and all those great things. See if we can get this cut. I'll be posting a recipe for banana bread. It's about 140 some odd years old. As we all know, bananas can be heavy, but these are beautiful, delicious, organic bananas from the city of Chula Vista. We're so blessed to have it. Be safe. Chula Vista, Chula Vista, Chula Vista. These are the most wonderful bananas growing here in beautiful Chula Vista. Once you remove them from the stalk, they're very easy to do. Even when you have bananas that are overripe like this, again, it's just the peel. It's just the peel. The banana is absolutely fantastic. And we'll go through the recipe in just a bit. I'll see you in the kitchen. Well, we're in the kitchen, and I've got my recipe right here. So this is Grandmother Eckel's 1800s banana bread recipe. What makes this so special is that you make your own sour cream with milk, and you use distilled white vinegar. And that's what's sitting in here. So what I have here is my 1.5 cups of milk with 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And you just let that sit for about 20 minutes. What I'm gonna be doing is, in my bowl, I have already put 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup. Do not use butter. You'll be using oleo. And so I have this right here. Can't believe it's not butter. And what I do is I have 1 stick worth of butter along with 2 tablespoons of butter. Am I going to use a mixing machine? No, because they didn't have it in the 1800s. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and mash that up. Then what I'm going to do is to take 3 eggs. Now, the reason this is going to be a kosher bread is because when I separate my eggs, I'm just not going to crack the eggs and stick them in the bowl. I crack my eggs separately, will inspect them to make sure that I don't have any little red dots, because this would be a live animal, and this is something that we don't do in the Jewish religion. Once I know that my eggs are perfect, I'll throw those in, and I'll be with you in just a minute to show you what my batter looks like. What I've just done is mixed my sugar with my oleo, and it's kind of fluffy, just mixing it with my stick. And what I have here are 3 perfect eggs. I'm looking at them to make sure there are no dots or anything like that. And I'll just stick it into my batter. It's easy for me to work in the sink because when I splatter, there's a place for it to go. And once you add those 3 eggs, I promise you, it's really, really easy. I'm getting ready to add 3 cups of flour. I'll be adding vanilla. I'll be adding baking soda. And guess what? I'm going to add a touch of my lemons from the garden here in Chula Vista. And what I like to do, sorry about that, you can't hear me, is I like to sort of have them in my jar. And anytime I need lemons, they're ready. You can freeze lemon juice. Guess what? If you have extra bananas, you can freeze bananas for a smoothie. Other things I'm going to be adding will be walnuts, which is great with bananas. We have macadamia nuts here in Chula Vista, so I'll be adding macadamia nuts. Some of my friends do not like chocolate. Some of my friends do not like walnuts. So I'm really careful. I kind of remember what they like and what they don't. So if they just want plain banana bread, that's what I'll do with the first batch. Second batch, I'll add macadamias. Third batch, I'll just go ahead and add the walnuts to it. But the most important thing is to have the base. We're at that stage where we can add bananas. And remember all those nasty bananas that had peels that looked like this? Well, there's no reason to throw them away. They're just extra sweet bananas and they're wonderful. The recipe calls for four bananas about this size, but as you can see, these are a little small. And these are a lot fatter. These are so sweet and so wonderful, so organic. And what I'm gonna do is just put them in my bowl. And then what I'm gonna do is mash everything up. And I will get with you as soon as I can, and I'll show you what my mixture looks like. I have to remember to tell you to use salt. On these particular batches, what I used was just banana and lemon. As I got down into my smaller ones, yeah, I know, isn't this funny? That's just from this particular batch. I have used chocolate chips and I used fresh macadamia nuts. A little something I wanted to tell you about this particular recipe, and I'll tell you in just a second. Where I live in Chula Vista, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods around. My home was built in 1929. It has been remodeled since then. And the one thing that makes my home so great are my neighbors. I have this incredible neighbor. Her name is Kathy Severin. And there's Wally Scheuer and Claudia. And what's really beautiful about my neighbors is that we share everything. A lot of you have seen my macadamia nuts, but those come from Kathy's house. It's a 75-year-old tree. Not only that, but the recipe that I use is also from Kathy. So just to reiterate, the first thing I did was take a cup and a half of milk, and it was a little warm. And what I did is I added white vinegar, just 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and that sat on my counter for about 20 minutes, okay? While that was sitting, I went ahead and I had 2 cups of sugar, 1 stick of oleo, not butter, okay? And I like using, I can't believe it's not butter, because back in the 1800s, this is what they used. Once you mix the sugar and the oleo together, do 3 eggs. If you want to make this kosher, what I do is take my eggs, and this is actually my egg bowl, and I put them in this bowl here, and then I broke the eggs, and then I made sure that I didn't see anything bloody or anything that doesn't look right. And then I added that in there. Also, I must tell you that my milk comes from Sprouts in Chula Vista. It's one of my favorite places to shop. My eggs come from Sprouts. I think my whole world comes from Sprouts, for those of you who know me. From there, I have those bananas, and I just kept adding as many bananas as I felt like adding. In the recipe, it says 4 bananas, but because these were smaller, even though they were fatter, and they're so sweet, oh my gosh, they're so great. I went ahead and I mashed up the bananas, and I did put a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I didn't put anything like cinnamon, I didn't put anything like Kahlua, I didn't put anything like amaretto or anything like that, but feel free to do that if you want. From there, once your mixture is all mixed up, what I do is I take 3 cups of flour. Then I have 2 teaspoons, of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. At that point, everything will be mixed up in the bowl. And then from there, what you'll do is either take your macadamia nuts, your walnuts, your chocolate chips, if you want to put coconuts, if you want to put cranberries, you can just put anything you want in there and just have a good time mixing it up. From there, what I do is I use these kind of trays. I'll spray them with my spray. I take flour and put flour in there, go around the extra flour. I'll just kind of knock onto here, do it again, do it again, do it again. When they're all ready to go, I just cook it for an hour at 350. So I'll make it a point that you can post the recipe, although I just read it to you. A couple rules: don't use a mixing bowl. They didn't do it in the 1800s, and there's mixing bowl, a mixer. Do it with your hands. It's kind of nice to, on those bananas, to eat some of the chunks of them. And yeah, your total ingredients are milk, vinegar, sugar, oleo, eggs, flour, baking soda, salt, vanilla. Remember, distilled vinegar, it's a white vinegar. Message me if you think you want this. Otherwise, can you guys see that? If I do this, maybe I'll just go ahead and post it. Oh, that looks wonderful right there. Okay, I'll see you when the bread comes out in an hour. In the meantime, I think I got a mess to clean up. I wish you could smell what my kitchen smells like. It's absolutely wonderful. Let's go take a peek while I'm here. Doesn't that look fantastic? Absolutely fantastic. Let me go ahead and get these out since it's only me videotaping, and I'll see you in a second. If you think they look good, you should smell them. They smell fantastic. For those of you who've seen my posts in the past, you know that I call this my Mary Solace bread because it's wonderful, it's sweet. I get my nuts from my neighbors and I share my bananas, which is something that we do here in Chula Vista. We like to share. And if you're interested in one of my loaves of bread, message me, but you have to swing by my house and pick it up. I'll tell you how to do it. The back one right there is right away dedicated to Jacqueline Gore. I promised you that I was going to make one without nuts. Al, you can have this one over here. And I probably will be giving one to Mary and Joy Watley, but I think there's enough of them there that I can continue sharing. Stay blessed. Thanks for watching on how to make Chula Vista banana bread. I hope you found the recipe to be very appealing. Don't forget to wear a mask.